Hello and welcome back to PowerTest 24, hosted by NETA. I'm Ellen Parson, Editor-in-Chief of EC&M. He's here with me today, Ron Widup. Ron is the Vice Chairman, Board of Directors, and Senior Advisor of Technical Services for Shermco, and he is also a member of the Board of Directors of NETA and the Conference Chair of PowerTest.
Yep.
So let's start with the turnout at this year's event. Seems like a great event so far. What type of initial feedback have you gotten from attendees, whether they're the NETA member companies or maybe new attendees?
Yep, no, great question. And we're real excited about this year because it's a record year for attendance.
Oh,
close to 1,100 folks here. And so that's a record for us. And we've got several new attendees. And so we got some people from Dubai, some people from Australia, so some international folks have came. And then just first time attendees, talked to several that haven't been here before. And so that's great.
So let's go into how have the NETA standards specifically improved the reliability of the power distribution network?
You know, Ellen, that's a great question because it's a focus of ours. We publish four standards, four ANSI standards. It's the acceptance testing standard for electrical power equipment, maintenance testing. We have a standard for electrical test technicians, and then we have a commissioning standard. And through the years, you know, it's a consensus standard, it's an ANSI standard, and so there's a whole process to do that.
Right.
And one of the things that these do is that it provides the owners of equipment a way of conduit of doing independent third-party testing of either their installations or maintenance of their installations. And so what that means is independent of the installing contractor, independent of the manufacturer, and so we go out and we just do a subjective analysis of what they got to make sure that they got what they paid for, that it works as intended and as designed, and it does what it's supposed to do for the benefit of the owner. So it's a nice way in industry to do things. And so the standards have evolved over time. We you know, as we go through the years, they've improved every year. They're accepted by industry, and I knew this happened. Here's an example of when I knew that we were doing the right thing. I'm on the 70E technical committee, the standard for electrical safety in the workplace.
Right.
And years ago, we were at a meeting of the technical committee. There was some issue going around the table, and a lot of discussion, which happens oftentimes, and so different debate and opinions and all that, and so as it went 30 or 45 minutes, one of the leaders of the group, key point, he said, well, let's see what the testing guys think. And so it was at that moment I said, you know, and so they pointed to NETA, to us, as we represent NETA. I said, well, I think we made it because they value our opinion. Yeah, so we're that part of the industry. They wanted to know what our opinion was about this issue, and so I said, okay, we made it. That's good.
Definitely.
We're contributing, we're a part of it, yeah. And so that's been the evolution of the standards that they really are accepted and creating value for the industry.
Okay, well, along those same lines then, as far as NETA members go, or NETA member companies, what does a NETA-accredited service firm add to the electrical industry then to, you know, add to that?
Yeah, so great point. So we're a little different than most associations or most certification bodies, I would say, in that NETA, the association, in addition to writing the standards, is we accredit the companies, and so we have criteria for that you have to really be a testing company to be accredited by NETA, the association, but then we also certify the technicians, and so it's a two-part deal. There's certifications out there that certify individuals, you know, for different tasks and all that. And so we do that, but in addition, we want to make sure that the guy or gal out in the field doing the testing not only has the knowledge, skills, and abilities to execute the task and the minimum competencies, but they have the infrastructure, i.e. the company, behind them, and so they have, you know, the calibration program, the professional engineers, and the financial stability and all that. So it's a two-pronged approach to making sure that we're delivering the very best independent third-party testing for the owners of the equipment, that people that own the equipment, independent of the manufacturers, independent of the installing contractor.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, going back a little bit, what we talked about yesterday, your session on NFPA 70B, so the new standard is receiving a lot of attention. How does that relate to NETA's maintenance testing standard?
Yeah, great question, and we get that a lot because hey, don't you guys have a maintenance testing standard? What do we need 70B or why do we need NETA? Sure. And they actually work in concert with each other. And so the 70B under the NFPA family is part of the 70 National Electric Code, 70E, the safety code or safety standard for electrical safety in the workplace, and then 70B is the maintenance standard. Yeah. Right. And so where the NETA standards, MTS, the maintenance standard, it's gonna we at NETA are going to tell you specifically by device all the things you should do on that piece of equipment: visual mechanical inspections, electrical test, and importantly, test results. And so we're going to tell you exactly what you need to do, and we're going to give you the expected results for acceptability of that device. And the 70B is really focused on the electrical maintenance program. It's going to give you guidance on when you should and shouldn't do certain tasks, and it's going to tell you, it's going to give you some values on what to do. But the NETA testing standards are going to give you information on how to execute and what's acceptable to that.
Oh, okay.
So there's a little bit of crosstalk for sure, but they work hand in hand. So NFPA is going to tell you how to do it and what you should do, and then NETA is going to give you guidance on here's exactly what you need to do to make sure that piece of equipment is doing what it should do.
So it's definitely important to know both. Yes.
It's important to know both,
yes,
and to use both. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right. I think one of the last things I wanted to ask you is, are there any new things or initiatives at NETA, or any big things that we need to watch for as we move forward this year? I think you mentioned something about a new conference.
Yeah, no, we do. Yeah, so this conference, it's part of the PowerTest. Is we're always looking at new things relative to electrical power,
right,
distribution, maintenance and safety, and all that. So we see new things here every year, and that's what we want to do, right? As well as core, baseload stuff. But we're excited about in October, actually in Dallas, we're starting a new endeavor. We're going to try it. It's called EPIC, Electrical Power Innovations Conference.
Okay.
So it's going to be here in Dallas, and the idea is it's not going to be PowerTest, or PowerTest Lite. Is we want to look at grid resilience, grid reliability, forward-thinking issues related to just power systems in general, and so we're putting that together now. We've got some great ideas. We've got some great folks that are going to be involved with it, and we want to see what's the next big thing related to maintenance and safety of electrical power systems. So EPIC is EPIC, Electrical Power Innovations Conference here in Dallas, and so we're trying it out. We'll see how it goes, and what we want to get those thought leaders here to kind of have a little vision about what should we be working on, and let's start working on it.
Perfect.
So,
yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that, and thanks for sitting down today. I think that's a good place to wrap up our conversation. Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk with us today. And I'm Ellen Parson with ECNM at PowerTest 24 in Dallas. Thank you, and have a great day.